right, shalom, shalom, Boaz here. Well, checking out the flock again and again. It is that time of year for another birthing cycle to take place. And what I've noticed is that I got to keep my flock at the max, about 40, minimum of about 18, because when they go through a birthing cycle, typically every you will give birth to at least twins. And so, it goes back up to 40 and down, and that's just the way it goes. And I'll take some, I'll sell some, I will turn around and butcher some, put them in the freezer, but that's just how it works. I mean, that one, she's looking beautiful. I mean, the skin on there, the coats on there, they're looking real healthy. But what I wanted to discuss today was a couple of things: accountability and being a man of your word. Now, as we know, the scriptures talk about in the last days that there will be men that shall be lovers of themselves. They'll be covenant breakers. And, it's sad to see the scriptures coming alive right before our very eyes. I mean, what we have here is a nice, healthy pasture. And what I do is I will be rotating probably once more, but, the grass has been so healthy here, so, I've left them here for the vast majority of the summertime. But covenant breakers, it seems as though we have an epidemic of people that, they make statements or they promise things that they can't deliver. But they expect you to be a man of your word and deliver what you said that you'd provide for them or give to them, or whether it's a product or a service or anything. I'll give you an example. What if I showed up, and as everybody knows, I'm a carpenter. What if I showed up at a job site or at a client's house and said, you know what, I can do your bathroom remodel, and then turn around and said, you know what, pay me for the bathroom remodel, and then come to find out I didn't know how to do subfloor work. Come to find out I didn't know how to run piping. Come to find out I don't know how to do tiling, or I've done a poor job at tiling, because you can clearly see good work, because a laborer is worthy of his hires. And when somebody does good work, it is clear, it is evident in the results of the work. See, this is why I always post my work, because it's clear the quality of work that I do. And not only that, but over the past 3 years, being able to not only do bigger and better jobs, but the quality of work will always increase as well. But, we have an epidemic today that people, it's the age-old statement, people expect more out of others than they're capable of producing themselves. What they want to do is they want to claim that they're a laborer, claim that they can do something, and then come to find out they can't do it, but they still want you. They still want to hold you to your word. They still want to hold you to a covenant that they've clearly broken, because, you see that belly? She is just pregnant. Look at her. Look at her. People want to hold you to your word when they clearly cannot produce what they said that they can produce. That's why it's so important to be a man or woman of your word, because, in this day and age, we have an epidemic again of people that will enter into a covenant with you, that will claim that they can do something or provide a good or service, and then turn around, right, after they've reneged, meaning that they are a covenant breaker. You see? These are covenant breakers, all right? So when you say you can do something and you don't do it, that means that you're not a man or woman of your word. It's not complex at all. But they expect you to deliver on your promise. You see what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad. And we're living in a time where, regardless of the age of the people, you know, uh, again, covenant breakers. And if a person has a track record in the history of lying or deceiving other people, what do you think that is going to happen to you? See, a person's track record and a person's word is, your word is your bond. If you can't do something, say that you can't do something. But if you can do something, then do it. Be very clear about what you can do. I mean, me personally, when I enter into a contract with a client and I say, you know what, I can do this bathroom remodel and I can do it in 10 days. I have to give them the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. I have to give them the time frame. I provide them references because, see, that shows that I can, in fact, do what I said I can do. You see? It's very important. And it's not any different when it comes to anything else. You have people out there that are making covenants knowing that they cannot deliver on their end of the bargain. You have people that are entering or making claims that they can do something when they clearly can't do it. When you see the results, when you look at the actual results, you see that this person cannot do what they said that they can do. It's sad. It's sad because what it does is it erodes confidence. It erodes trust between folks. And see, this is why these people need to be exposed, because you're entering and it's the same like, with carpentry, right? You have folks that are running around, right, ripping customers off. And this is why you have blogs. This is why you have the ability to go out and see references and see and go on people's websites if they have a website or whatever and do a business review so that people know that this person is a good carpenter or this person is a bad carpenter. This is why it says in Ephesians, expose them, reprove them. And this is the same with business. This is the same across the board because, see, if you're in a situation where you know a person is not a man of honor and integrity, it's your responsibility to make sure that is known. You see? Now, I'm not saying just slander somebody. I'm saying as well, show proof. It's amazing. They are still nursing after all of this time? Wow. You got 3 of them nursing on her. That's shocking to see. But the idea is that, hey, you can't have folk and be in covenant agreement with folk that are covenant breakers. Because, see, once they've broken covenant, once they've shown that they're not a man of honor and integrity, that they can't do what they said that they can do, all covenants are off. They've broken covenant. They've proven themselves not to be a man or woman of honor and integrity. You see? They've proven it through their actions or their lack thereof of actions. So don't expect folks that exhibit this kind of behavior, just walk away from them. Just leave them alone because they're not men of honor and integrity. And the scriptures talked about this in the last day where you're going to have people that are just flat out covenant breakers. They're liars and deceivers. But these very same people want to hold you to your word. They want to make sure that they get out of you with what they want out of you, but they can't produce what they said that they can do. It's a damn shame. And it shouldn't even be named amongst Yah's chosen people. But hey, you see the Deuteronomy 28 is coming alive. You see the curses. Clearly, you see them. You see them in the actions of men. This is why it says over and over again, by their fruit you shall know them. A corrupt tree cannot produce good fruit. And we're seeing this time and time and time again. Be wary and mindful of these smooth talkers. Be wary and mindful of these people that make claims and can't show any proof to back up what they say that they can do. This is why it's so important. You say, carpentry will open up. Being able to raise food, being able to work with the labor of your hands, not only will give you a great increase, but in addition to that, it will give you a good insight into understanding the hearts of men. Because if you can't do something, it's going to show in time. It's going to expose you. Very important. By their fruit you shall know them. Covenant breakers. These people will not inherit the kingdom of Yah. If you say that you can do something, do it. Be clear about your intentions. Be clear about your actions. And if you can't do something, say you can't do something. But we have men today walking around today that they have no honor. They have no integrity. They're vile people. At the end of the day, very vile. Be careful of these people. They're out there. And they're calling themselves elders. They're calling themselves brothers. They're calling themselves mores. They're calling themselves pastors. They're calling themselves deacons. They're calling themselves bishops. How are you going to know? How are you going to know? By their fruit you shall know them. It ain't hard. What we do is we get our feelings and emotions, and we get this notion of these wicked soul ties. And that's there to blind you from the truth. It's there to blind you from the deception that's being put forward. And you can't do that. You have to judge a tree by its fruit. This is why it's always talking about that tree, that righteous tree. But you're only going to know it by its fruit. It ain't difficult to understand. But again, we allow our feelings and emotions to get in the way, and our own vanity, our own lust to get in the way of seeing things for what they are, as opposed to how they are and how it's being presented. Be careful. They're out there. And they're out here to deceive and manipulate and lie to you. All for gain. It's a damn shame.